Hey guys, welcome back, Gorilla here, and this episode we're going to do a very basic redstone tutorial. This is just a pilot episode for my series where I'm going to be starting doing redstone tutorials. I'm going to cover everything I know about it, and plus more once I'm learning as we go along. I'll also be starting a map making tutorial soon on good map making skills, tricks, tips, and things you basically need to create a map. Anyways, this first episode is going to be aimed at people who have no idea how to use redstone. They were mining in a cave, they found some red stuff, they don't know what to do with it, and that's who this episode is aimed at. Anyways, so let's get started with the very basics. When you place down redstone, it's just a dot. This isn't very accurate, but we'll talk about that later. Anyways, you can place it down, and it makes a line, and you can power it. There's many different sources of power. We'll start off with a lever for now. We'll talk about the rest later. When you use it, it's powered, so it powers. And the reason it's supposed to be powered is so it can power different things, like doors, most of this stuff, dispensers, note blocks, sticky pistons, TNT, and especially command blocks. Those things are so helpful. Anyways, though, redstone can only be powered up to 15 blocks. As you can see, it gets weaker and weaker as it goes along, and this is the 16th block. It's no longer powered. However, this will work right there, but it will not work right there. Anyways, and that's where this thing right here, a redstone repeater, comes in. A redstone repeater, it takes the signal and it amplifies it back up to full strength of 15. Then it starts going back down from there. It's pretty useful, but yeah, it's a little costly, but I mean, not very, so. Anyways, now let's get on to we'll get on that comparator in a little bit. Next off, let's get into blocks. So a block can be powered like this. As you can see, this is going straight into it, which means it's powered. So, well, that's not how we want it, but if we say we used a repeater here, this is now powered. Basically, if a block is powered, it will power everything, like torches. So a torch is another source of power, but a torch can be turned off. If it's on a block that's turned on, it will turn off. So if I were to have a lever here instead, I could turn the torch on and off. A little bit hard to see there. There you go. One way of vertical redstone is by doing such. Whoops, not right there. See, this is one way people like to do vertical redstone. I don't really typically like this, but using this method, it can go straight up in one vertical block. You can't change the top one and make it go down though, because this will not power the block below it. That's not how it works. Alright, now people are asking, why would you need to power some of these things? Well, these things, they can do pretty cool stuff. First off, let's start with a redstone lamp. As you can see, it's glowstone, but it's off, and we can easily turn that on and off. Really simple, nothing much, no other uses to it. Next off, we have the piston, which is incredibly useful. I'm sure most of you know what it does. It can push blocks. For example, here. It can be faced in any direction. However, it can only push up to 13 blocks. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. If we do 12, it can push that. But if we were to do 13, it can't push it. Pistons won't be able to push obsidian, bedrock, or endstone, I believe it is. I think they can push endstone, actually. Just to make sure I'm not a liar. Yes, they can push endstone. It's just obsidian and bedrock they cannot. Anything else? Nope, pretty sure that's just it. Obsidian, bedrock. Anyways, next off we will move on to the dispenser. The dispenser will either drop the item or it will use the item. So say we were to put arrows in it, it will shoot arrows. Obviously, this isn't very efficient if you were trying to kill kill something, so you can find better ways through the use of clocks, which we'll cover in another episode. Pick up all these. Alright, next off we're going to go through the dropper. The dropper is like a dispenser, except instead of using the item, it will always drop it. Obviously, spamming arrows, that's not going to help there, but it is useful for a lot of things. And then note blocks, these things right here are they're pretty fun. I can't use them for crap, because I'm not good with this stuff, but it's fun to do. I don't like the sound it makes when it's on stone. Note blocks make different noises based on what block it's on. If it's in air, let's see. If it is in air, it makes a piano, which is a great sound. Anyways, that should cover most of that. But we also have TNT, of course, which I'm sure most of you already know what it does. Like so. Pretty useful for mining, but right here, I'm going to pick these up real fast. Stop lag, we'll be right back. Alright, we're back, and we have this thing called the hopper. It's a really useful tool that I wish they had earlier in the game, but it's in here now, so that makes me happy. Anyways, what it can do is the top part will take items from a container and put them into another container. So, let's say I were to put all this stack of hoppers in here, you can see it's getting lowered. They're passing through the hopper. The reason there's only one is because it takes one and then pushes one. It can't do it at the same time. And you see, we're getting filled up. So it's actually working at double the speed here because it has to take one and then put one, take one, put one. Anyways, another cool thing is it will actually pick up items. That's right. If we were to throw them, it'll pick them up. These make mob grinders extremely useful in spawn chunks. That means you can have, say, an iron golem farm working 24/7 with absolutely no work involved. You'll always be getting iron. Anyways, though, let's get rid of that. Next off, we have another source of power called a block of redstone. This was just recently added. It's crafted by putting 9 redstone, similar to the other blocks of things, and it actually provides power, up to 15 blocks, of course. Actually, I think it might be more. Nope, just looks like 15. But it will, what it can do is it can be pushed by pistons, which is extremely useful for a lot of redstone designs. It's basically a movable source of power, which is something we've never had before, but we've always needed for certain things. To put that there. Let's do something a little bit fun here. We're doing that, and we're to have another one right here. We can take this power and move it to the piston. This right here is a form of a clock. If we were wanting to have something constantly running. Just slowed it down a bit to reduce graphical lag. Anyways, let's get rid of that. We'll talk about clocks later on. There's a bunch of different designs. Anyways, though, so this episode we aren't talking about actual devices. We're talking about the tools you need to build things. And of course, we have doors. You may not know how to power an iron door, but it's simple. You just power it and you can open it. So you see, I can't open it. If I just power it, it opens. Anyways, other than that, there's tripwire hooks. We'll talk about tripwire hooks and pressure plates. The different kinds of pressure plates here. Along with daylight detectors. And that should be good. Anyways, so a tripwire hook, you need a block. So we're going to place a block. You want to place both tripwire hooks on each side. And then you want to get string and place it through. It will connect like so, and then you can just place any redstone. Basically, this block, the blocks that the tripwire hooks are connected to, are about to get power. So, say you were devious and want to make a little trap for your friends, then you can set up a little tripwire hook, put some TNT over this, like so. They're walking through, I have no idea, and then they hear something, they're like, what is that? Start hitting the wall. Very devious, but now we're on to the pressure plates. Pressure plates all provide a source of power, but these work a bit differently. You need to, we'll talk about those. Those are a bit more complicated, but first, the wooden pressure plate and the stone pressure plate. The stone pressure plate, if anything stands on it, a person or some mobs, it will get powered. Up to 15 right there. Wooden pressure plate, it will do the same, except since it's lighter, you can throw an item onto it and power it. Fell off right there, but as you can see, it's being powered by that. Pretty useful. Anyways, these now, they work a bit differently. You need a certain, since they're heavier, you need a certain amount of items to activate them. Players and mobs can't activate them. They're more used for redstone designs, not survival Minecraft. See, I threw a whole stack on that one, and I think that's enough to make it go to 15. Yep. And this one, though, needs a lot more. So we'll power it all the way up to 15. See how many we need. That stack did not work right. See, so a whole stack only went up 2 compared to 15 on the gold one. So you can really use these for maybe a shop system, or whatever you can think of. Redstone is very open-ended. Next off, we are going to talk about the daylight sensor. So it's obviously, judging by its name, it can detect daylight. However, its output depends on how strong the sun is. Right now, it's noon. It's going to be powered all up to 15. Oh, maybe past it. Okay, 15. Yeah, that was 15. Say we were to maybe go here. Then it's darker. As you can see, it still has a little bit of light left, so it's still got a little bit of power. You can make this so you can time things accordingly if you have maybe automatic doors that shut off at night. And yeah. Anyways, other than that, there's nothing really much to talk about. If you're wondering more about actual wiring, I do have a video coming up on how to condense your wiring in your creations. I am going to have a lot more redstone videos coming up, so make sure to subscribe if you like the video and it helped you out. Make sure to leave a like, it really helps a lot. And anyways, I'm Gorilla, and peace.